TIFU by underestimating the impact of an earthquake. First-time poster. Long-time lurker. On mobile. English is my first language. Do with that what you will. This happened about 20 minutes ago. I live in Melbourne, Australia. This morning, we experienced a rare 6.0 earthquake. This was very novel and exciting for us as we don't get earthquakes. At work, we, along with the media, spent the whole day talking about it. I was happy to be able to laugh that there wasn't much damage except to some old buildings and no one had been hurt. I happily came home. I saw a lamp which had fallen off a shelf on the floor. Had a good laugh about the serious damage from today's quake and how I should be claiming insurance for my lamp. I went to pick it up. Yes, I got shocked electrocuted. I dropped it screaming. My foot got shocked electrocuted on the way down. How does that even happen? It's only mild, but I am getting the tingles. Left hand underwater for 10 minutes. Left side of my face periodically heating up and a small white line on my heel. I have learned my lesson. Respect the quake. Don't pick up electronics after a quake without testing, checking the switchboard. Update. I'm at the hospital now. Thanks to you, Auntie 75, for warning me and all you other amazing people for sharing your concerns. If I die before Saturday, someone tell my ghost if the Bulldogs win. Update 2. Thank you again to all the lovely people sending support. To other Australians, we learned today. To those who nicely pointed out the correct term as shocked, my thanks. And to the rest of you, I'm not sure who shit in your porridge, but the staff at the emergency room were very happy I came in. I am being kept for monitoring at the moment for chest pain, shortness of breath, numbness in my arm and pins and needle sensations. The puns all brightened my night. Final update. I was overwhelmed at the outpouring of responses when I was discharged. I spent hours being observed in the emergency room, where my nurse gave herself a shock. She said she'd not seen a bad case of electric shock before and yet 2 in one night. So I will be awaiting the next disaster now that ScoMo is on vacation. The medical results are all clear. I have residual pain in my arm. Shock. Pun not intended. Symptoms and stress. Those will fade with time and rest. Hospital were very glad I came in to get checked. As I found out, it can be quite serious. Electrocuted versus shocked? Shrug at this point. I'm just happy to be alive and well. I assure you though, next time I think I'm in a near-death situation, I'll spend time Googling the appropriate verbiage so not to make any errors on Reddit. That's all folks. Keep the puns coming. I figure. May as well take the path of least resistance and laugh at myself whilst I still can. TLDR. I laughed at the non-seriousness of an earthquake today and got what I deserved cleaning up after it. The injured foot is where the current left your body as it grounded. Presumably you only picked it up with one hand, if so. That's why your experience was relatively mild. If you touched it with both hands, the current may have run through your arm, across your chest, and then grounded. That would have been rather bad. Hey stranger, if you got electrocuted, please go to the hospital that a doctor can check you out. It would be horrible if your heart stops beating in your sleep. Take my words serious. Please. Glad to see you're still alive and well. And if anything, you've got a story to tell at parties now, haha. So time to upgrade your fuse box to use residual current circuit breakers. They will save your life. Mate, get to the hospital right away. You need to be checked out. Electric shocks are no joke and they can mess up your heart rhythm. I work in heavy industry and we are sent right away regardless of current, voltage. Man. I took a nasty shock after my mill spilled a jug of water over an active power point when I was a teenager. I rushed to switch it off. I was a young idiot. And took a huge shock up my arm. I wish I had known how dangerous that was. This post taught me even minor shocks demand a trip to the GP. Respect the quake. I like this. Yes. I got electrocuted. It's always a good idea to go to the hospital after dying. But for real. I'm glad you took the advice here to get checked out. Not super likely, but possibly worth checking anyway. If you had a medium quake like that and something in the structure of the house, or outside the house, shifted or broke, the lamp might not have shocked you. It might have been the path to ground. One of the worst shocks I ever got was from a floor with a water leak that had found its way to an electrical box but not tripped anything until I became the ground. Probably just a broken lamp and a slow ground fault device. But maybe wear rubber-soled shoes when you get home until you check. Keep in mind, folks, we use 240 volts here in Oz. That really would hurt. Hope you're okay, Op. Why didn't the safety switch RCD, GFCI trip? To me that means this house is unsafe. All houses in Australia require a functional safety switch. By law, right? First time I read non-sexual post in this sub though. So happy to read you went to the hospital. My mother was a nurse. Mostly in nursing homes but worked in the for a while in a town that got a lot of bad storms. She saw a few lightning strike victims and always stressed to us if we ever got any kind of shock to go to the One man had reluctantly gone to the after a non-direct lightning strike. If I remember correctly, it struck near him and he got hit by the ground current. His wife made him go even though he thought he was fine. Just shaken up and burned. Turns out it was affecting his heart and he could have died if he didn't come in. Sometimes the aftershock is what gets ya. I bet the experience was electrifying. Man, it sucks. I am from Croatia and we had problems with earthquakes for 2 years now. First big one was last year in Zagreb. It made lots of damage to old buildings, people's houses and hospitals. Then this year in Sisak and Petrinja, and we didn't recover from the first one yet. Lots of people lost their homes. Still to these days once in a while there's a small quake. I pray for Australia and I don't wish this to no one. Well till I live in a place that gets earthquakes and I had no idea that shocking yourself in this kind of way was a possibility after an earthquake. I knew it was a risk outside with things that might shock you but for some reason never considered the same risks inside. Honestly, thank you. That earthquake really shook things up today, I'm from NZ so I'm used to earthquakes. But it was all new and exciting for my kids. Well, I was excited. They were a little terrified. How'd you go getting a checkup, Op? Hope all is good. 220V there, 120V kinda tickles, fuck that. Probably a dumb question. But how did Op got electrocuted from picking up the lamp? Because that sounds like something I would have done without a second thought. So how do I avoid getting electrocuted after an earthquake occurs? Do I not touch anything that's connected to a power point for a certain amount of time?
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.